So, I want to do this challenge for a long time. So, here are the rules. I tried to install a mod, didn't work. Halfway through, it stopped killing the essential NPCs, and then they just kept coming back, and it didn't work on DLC characters. So, if anyone falls down, I consider them dead. I picked my name Grimgor, chosen orc, then was saved by a dragon. Thanks, dragon. I'm sure you won't regret that later. Then I followed the Stormcloaks. It won't really matter since I'm killing everyone who I follow, and I don't really plan on doing the Civil War quest line. So yep, after doing the tutorial, I was able to leave. And then I went to the blacksmith area to smith myself a nice axe, which will help me very early on in the game. Then I bought the book Till Death Do Us Part, which lets you kill essential NPCs, or they should, because like I said before, halfway through the mod stopped working. How it works is it lets you kill companions and other essential characters if you pick die alone, and if you pick Death Do Us Part, if your companion dies, so do you die. But it didn't work on DLC characters, so yeah, basically a waste of time, but whatever. After that, I decided to start the main quest of the game. And by main quest, I mean the companion's quest, because I wanted their axe, and I wanted to be a werewolf, because werewolves are cool. Early on, I did cure my werewolfism, so I guess this was all for nothing. I could have just killed the companions right off the bat, but hey, you live, you let learn, and you see a werewolf. After that, we had to kill some Silverhand, because they're racist towards werewolves or whatever. Didn't really pay much attention to the plot. I completed the first quest, and I returned back to the companions. And I was set off on a rescue mission, but considering how I'm supposed to kill everyone, I had an idea. I rescued the guy, saved his life, and brought him back to the town, just for me to murder him instantly after. Ah, Grimgor. He has class. No one can tell me otherwise. After brutally murdering him in cold blood, they agreed to turn me into a werewolf, even though I completely failed the quest. Don't know why, but hey. Then I tested my skills on a guard, and this guard was apparently the strongest guard in the world, because no matter how many times I slashed him with my werewolf claws, he simply just stood up. I was pretty low level, but still, this is a giant freaking werewolf, and look how many hits this guy takes, like it's nothing. Yeah, this guard has like balls of steel or something, I don't know. But anyway, after that, I got to test out my werewolf form, which I thought I was going to be using for the rest of the run, but like I said before, I changed my mind because, well, I didn't want to be a furry, I guess. I honestly don't know why I changed my mind. But yeah, I mauled down the Silverhand and began to eat their flesh. As then I talked to the companions more, and it was time to fight some more Silverhand. Even got to kill one of their leaders. You'd think a leader of a werewolf hunting group would be pretty strong, but apparently not. They go down in like a couple hits. After that, it was time for me to kill some witches, and since I was really low level, I had to rely on my werewolf form to kill them, because I needed to cure my leader. And the whole reason I was doing this quest is to, well, you know, get the axe, which is like the second best axe in the game besides the dragon axe. But yeah, after that, I had to kill some more Silverhand because they led an attack against us. Blah, blah, blah. Main quest boring. Doesn't matter. I devour and eat people. That's all you need to know. After that, we attended his funeral, and it was finally time to cure him, once and for all, by bringing some witches' heads into the gravesite. But then we had to fight a bunch of ghosts, because somehow ghosts can die again. I don't know how that works. Actually, I don't think they die. I think they just go back to the plane or whatever, Skyrim lore, blah, blah, blah. If you know the answer, you are a nerd and have no life. After that, clearing out the ghost, I talked to him after killing his beast form, and I tried to kill him again, but he disappeared before I could even try. So yep, I can't double kill him. After that, I decided to kill the companion in front of me, because now it's time for me to go off on the companion. Since I no longer need them, they all shall taste my blade. And that starts with you, Falcus. I tried to use him for the whole, well, infinite items exploit, but it wouldn't work, so I decided just to kill him here and now because, well, screw him and screw this dumb exploit. Instead, I was going to use a different exploit. You see, I wanted dragon armor and dragon weapons, so I used this chest exploit to get unlimited money and a bunch of steel and leather strings to craft a bunch of daggers so I can build dragon armor. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave a link to the exploit in the comments below. After that, though, I decided to take a little break and murder all the companions, because the companions turned me into a furry, and I don't really like furries today. I'm only a furry on Friday, alright? Furry Friday. Every other day, I'm an anti-fur. I know that might be weird and confusing, but it's my life and I do what I want, Dad, alright? You may have left for the milk, but I decide what to do at my house. Anyway, after that, I kept on crafting more and more and more daggers until I can get smithing up to 100. I literally did this for a day straight. Until finally, after crafting and crafting and crafting, I was able to get the dragon armor, which is supposedly is the best armor in the game. And when I got this, I felt like I was going to be extremely overpowered, that almost nothing was going to be able to damage me. But it wasn't nearly as good as I thought it was. Don't get me wrong, it's still great, but like, yeah. Also, I reward the blacksmith by killing him. After upgrading all the way, I need to get some dragon bones to craft the armor. I knew how to do it. You see, doing the main quest, you fight a dragon, so I can just take his bones that way. But before I can do that, continue on through the main quest. So, I fought and murdered a giant spider, which is pretty easy, surprisingly. Apparently, spiders don't like it when you chop them in half with an axe. Huh. Who knew? Am I right, guys? Who knew? After that, I had to slay a dragger lord, which actually did a lot of damage to me, because leveling up smithing might have been a mistake, because when you level up, your enemies level up. So since I just leveled up smithing and not any damage or anything like that, and I don't have any good armor yet, these guys just absolutely destroyed me. So I had to glitch him out into a river and then kill him that way. Yeah, not gonna lie, kind of one of my low moments. But after that, it was time for me to kill the dragon from the main story, so I can actually get some dragon bones. And not gonna lie, it was pretty hard, but dragons get a lot easier when you fight them from the side. And this dragon's pretty easy because the guards do most of the work in every playthrough I do, so yep. After killing the dragon, he dropped his precious bones and scales, so now hopefully I can actually get the heavy armor I wanted. And the first thing I did was craft that dragon chest plate, which would help me out severely. After that, I went on a rampage of dragon hunting. Had to use my werewolf form a couple times because, well, dragons could, easily kill me, until I got some more armor, and I even slaughtered one by crushing its neck. Eventually, I was able to get full dragon armor and a dragon axe, which means I didn't really need to do the companion quest line at all. I could have just maxed out smithing, but whatever, I guess. After that, I met with the Greybeards, learned some shouts and some things like that. After learning the shouts, I then went down and discovered that what I was supposed to get was stolen. And who stole the horn? It's everyone's favorite Skyrim character. Haha, get it? Because no one likes her? No? Okay. After that, it was time for me to kill, wait for it, another dragon. But this was different. The dragon was still a skeleton, and I was able to just slaughter it before it was even revived. I mean, look at this. By the time it got its scales back, it was already losing its scales and being forcefully peeled off. Yep, not a fun time. After that, I then went over to a party, because there ain't no party like a Falmore party. And by party, I mean slaughter all the guests and all the soldiers, so, I mean, you could wear their armor and try to disguise your way through it, but since this is a kill everything run, I decided to murder everyone. And apparently, golden armor, like gold, the strongest material in the world, is no match for armor made from bones. I don't know how that works, but we're just gonna roll with it. After killing them all, I went back to talk to the Blades, and they told me good job, and I needed to discover an old man. So, I went in to try to get information from the Thieves Guild, but they were not helpful at all. They made me steal. And I don't like stealing, I mean, I kill people all the time, but stealing's the different. Stealing's morally wrong, So after doing pickpocket and stealing and, well, hurting my conscience, because stealing's bad. So after they made me steal, I decided to get revenge by murdering the entire Thieves Guild. And this is where the little mod I installed started to glitch out, because the people I killed usually would stay dead, but for whatever reason, these thieves, after a couple minutes, would just get back up again. So this is when I did the rule. I could say I could stop doing this challenge after 4 days of working on it, and basically have the entire run be a dud, or I could say when they fall down, they're dead. Even if they get back up, I consider them dead, and that's what I decided to do. Is this a true kill everything run? No. Are you mad about that? Probably. But if you think this mod sucks, or do you think this game sucks, or do you think I suck, just put that down in the comments, and I'll make sure not to read it. After that, I then went to the old man, and yes, I know his name, but I'm not going to say it because he doesn't deserve it, because he's a worthless piece of crap. I was ambushed by the Thalmor and had to kill some wizards. And yeah, these wizards didn't really do much, but just summon things. When I tried to punch them, they like blew wind at me or something. Not gonna lie, this Frost Atronak almost killed me. And yes, I called it an Atronak. I know in my summons video I called it an anchor. I don't know why I called it that. I don't know what I was smoking or what was on, but yeah. I also lured into a hallway where it can't get in. I tried to install this other mod that lets you kill people. How it works is you complete the Dawnguard DLC and it gives you a spell to kill anyone. But the Dawnguard DLC is boring, so I decided just to make this rule. So this is how that rule came about. I wanted to let you know that I tried, alright? I tried to kill everyone, but I just couldn't do it. So I made the rule. And don't say you can just use the no essential NPC mod, because I looked that up like 30 times and it didn't pop up on my mods list. So screw you guys. I can't use it. And if you have any mod that works that I didn't try, let me know in the comments below. Please and thank you. Speaking of Dawnguard, it was time for me to murder the Dawnguard. And yeah, they put up somewhat of a fight. They really didn't swing at me, but they blocked a lot. Their blocks were pretty good. But after swinging at them over and over again, eventually they fell down dead. And after killing the Dawnguard, I then got to kill some vampires. After killing some vampires, I then freed one for once. And also I brought the old man with me on accident because I didn't bring him back. After freeing an ancient evil, it was time for me to meet with the rest of the vampires. So yeah, and I uninstalled the mod that lets you kill people, so the companions were back, and they were glitched into the floor. I don't know why that happened, but yeah. I then made my way through by just killing the guard. He didn't really do much. After that, I talked to Lord Herkson, and yeah, considering that werewolves have way less drawback, you'd think I would be smart to stay a werewolf. But I didn't. I became a vampire lord. And then I killed him. Since it was a tutorial, he didn't even fight back. I just spammed red balls at him until he fell down dead. And now it's time for me to kill the rest of the vampires. The only way to stay is to get the Vampire Lord. Or you could do the Dawnguard quest and kill them all that way, but I didn't want to do that because that seemed like too much work. So I decided to become a vampire, even though they have way more drawbacks. I mean, it's no big deal if you fight at night, but like, it's hard to fight it only at night. So yeah. It would probably be best if I stayed a werewolf, but hey, vampires are cool. Also, I died quite a few times trying to kill all these guys. I tried a number of different methods. I tried using my vampire form on all of them going berserk. Then I tried luring them into a hallway. And yeah, no matter what I did, these guys just destroyed me. Apparently fighting an army of strong undead vampires is hard, believe it or not. So I then used sneak to try to murder a couple of them by themselves. Then I lured them outside and blast them all as they came out, and apparently this managed to work. And then they all started fighting each other for some reason. I don't, to be honest with you, I was very confused what was happening, but they all fell down to their knees. That's the important part. So I killed them all. I did a good job, all right? So we can move on from whatever this weird mess, whatever the heck is going on here. We can just move on for that. So yeah. After killing all the vampires in the castle, it was then time for me to continue the main story. So now I had to go to my temple to clean it out. And not really much happened, so I'm just going to skip through it because, well, besides, cutting myself and using the blood to open up a secret entrance, this is kind of boring. Just a bunch of puzzles and killing people. After that, it was time for me to meet Partonax and learn to shout to defeat Alduin. So, after clearing the skies and walking up the mountain, eventually I met Partonax, everyone's favorite character. I mean, seriously, I looked up the wiki and everyone extremely loves Partonax. And it makes sense, dragons are cool, but yeah, he is one of Skyrim's most beloved characters. That's not a companion. So after that, I then killed the guy who told me about the Dragon Scroll, and it was time for me to go out and get the Dragon Scroll. And yeah, getting the Dragon Scroll was pretty easy. I just had to kill some dwarves and things like that. Some dwarf armor and some dwarf machines. And apparently, thousands of year-old machines don't do well against an axe. I also used Become Eternal Shout to skip through part of the quest. And let me tell you, that shout is my favorite shout. Just becoming invincible for a short amount of time so you can run past enemies or just jump down giant mountains. It is really fun. And yeah, I also got the sweet kill maneuver on this robot. Usually I'd skip past it, but the fact that I got that maneuver on it, I really wanted to show you that. Then I had to kill these two, which I usually skip every time I do this quest. And oh my god, they just wrecked me for a quick second until one of them were dead. After that, I was able to single the other one out and easily slaughter them. And by slaughter, I mean they blocked every attack I did, so I had to slowly whittle them down until they die. Even had to heal for a couple seconds because, dang, these people were tough. But eventually I then killed them. And you might be wondering, why didn't I say their names? They don't deserve that. They don't deserve for me to...
It has nothing to do with me being too lazy to read their names out loud. After that, it was time for me to do the secret boss where I battle a dragon, because it's a kill everything run. Not gonna lie, it took a little too long for this dragon to come out, but eventually he did. And when the dragon came, I slaughtered it. I just stayed on the side and started swinging my axe here and there, and well, he did do some decent damage to me. If you're fighting a dragon melee, here's some advice. Make sure you're on the side. On the back, it can hit you with the tail. On the front, it can shoot fire at you. So on the side is the best place to be. It can still damage you, but not nearly as much. After that, I finally got the dragon scroll, and it was finally time to go back to Pardonax and learn how Alduin was defeated. After watching the first dragonborns kill Alduin, it was time for me to do the same thing, as Alduin effed me up multiple times, but with the power of healing and the power of OP weapons and armor, I was eventually able to defeat him. And yeah, even with dragon armor, Alduin still effed me up, which made sense since he was supposed to be the final boss, so I wasn't really mad at that. But I did have to run and heal like a little girl sometimes, which did demasculate me, I am not gonna lie. But eventually, through my hard work, running away, and my strong axe, I was able to defeat Alduin. After defeating him,
it was time for me to kill Pardonax. And yeah, everyone's favorite character, and I'm gonna kill him. And honestly, it felt kind of good. I know I probably lost a lot of subscribers by saying that, but like, usually I love Pardonax, but killing him felt really satisfying for some reason. Just watching his dead body lay. After that, I had to sit through a peace council, which I've never done because I've always helped out in the Civil War. It was annoying, so I just skipped past it. Then I trapped a dragon, and it was time for me to fly all the way to Alduin so I can kill him once and for all. And speaking of dragons, there were quite a bit of dragons on the way to Alduin. But since I am a badass dragonborn, I definitely didn't die a couple times and cut it out, I was able to slaughter them. Then, I murdered the Merklin, and yes, I know I probably pronounced that name wrong, but I don't give a crap, and if you want to yell at me in the comments for pronouncing Skyrim names wrong, I'm not even going to read it, so knock yourself out. After that, I then went down, and I got Afterlife, and I got to test my mettle. And he was so impressed that he let me in with all the other dead Dragonborns, and then we all assembled to kill Alduin. This fight is extremely easy. All you have to do is dodge meteors from the sky, and just keep making him fall to the ground. After killing Alduin, usually I'll be done with the game, but we gotta get more killing, so it was time for me to meet the Dark Brotherhood. And to meet the Dark Brotherhood, you have to kill this old lady who pretends to be kind, and as soon as you kill her, all the orphans cheer. Then I was kidnapped by the Dark Brotherhood and set to do a quest. And the smart thing would be to side with them so I can kill the Emperor, then kill the Dark Brotherhood. But I've been playing this game for 5 days at this point, and I just wanted it to end, so I murdered the leader of the Dark Brotherhood so I can join the Empire and help them murder the Dark Brotherhood. Because screw the Dark Brotherhood, I know I said that like 50 million times, but who cares. After that, I went down as a vampire and decided to slaughter them. And I guess it would be more fitting for me to slaughter people as a werewolf, considering I built a melee build, but vampires are still cool. So I made a rule. It's not an official rule of the challenge, but anytime I would kill a huge group of people, I would do it in my vampire form, because, well, why not? Vampires are cool. And it makes things way easier. So yep, after going to Dark Brotherhood member one at a time, I then slaughtered them. And they put up barely any of a fight at all. It was extremely easy. After that, I talked to the commander, he gave me his gift, and then I murdered him. So, yeah. After murdering the commander and completing that, it was time for me to go on rampages. So, I went to Riverwood and then slaughtered as many guards as I could. Because I am awesome. And yeah, honestly, these slaughters were pretty fun. I wish I could kill them permanently. I wish they did like with Fallout 3. As soon as you complete a quest and they're no longer essential, you can just kill them. You can for some NPCs, but some NPCs lay essential forever. I feel like that would be very fun. After murdering people in Riverwood, I then went to meet the Jar in Whiterun and murder him too. And the Jar and his men got me cornered a few times, but as long as I stayed away from him and just spammed my spells, I was easily able to take care of him. Because apparently a giant magic vampire defeats 50 men. If you ever asked that on the math quest, then, well, I gave you the answer. So, follow me for more math questions. After dealing with Riverwood, it was time for me to go to another city. So yeah, originally I was going to show every city I slaughtered, but it just started to get repetitive. I mean, I did do it, don't get me wrong, but like, it just got repetitive. So like, instead of making you all watch that, I decided just to cut through some of them. Just know that every city on this list and every major city in Skyrim, I slaughtered as many people as I could. And as you could see all those bodies laying down there. So that's the proof right now. If you don't believe I did it, just look at the bodies, all right? I mean, what more could you want from me? After that, I got to kill and all the other people that just were chilling in their houses, you know, not doing anything wrong. I went and killed them because it's kill everything run. And yeah, the Forsaken guards were actually pretty tough. And by pretty tough, I mean they actually took 3 hits to kill with my powerful vampire form. So yeah, that's always fun. After that, it was time for me to kill the Greybeards. So I snuck up behind them, got that sneak attack, and spammed it. Some of them died right away. Others were quite annoying, like this one. For whatever reason, this is the strongest Greybeard, or the Greybeard had the most trouble killing. Even when he had barely any health left, he had this annoying shout where I got frozen, and then he just beat me with his fist. So I would get back up and try to fight him again. And then he would use a shout to make me drop my weapon. So yeah, he was extremely annoying to deal with, and made me want to cuss at my computer. He even managed to kill me a few times off screen, I'm not gonna lie. But eventually, through me picking up my weapon over and over again, and through me using 3 sneak attacks, which I highly recommend you use before you fight him, I was able to get him down, killing the Greybeards. After that, I met with the leader of the Stormcloaks for a nice friendly chat. And by friendly chat, I mean I brutally murdered him and drank his blood. You know, same thing. Tomato, tomato. And yeah, it was a little difficult since there was a lot of them, but this room was quite big, so as long as I stayed away from them and just kept shooting them with my powers, they did manage to fall. After that, I met General Talius and his little henchman as I got rid of them both. She put up quite a bit of fight. The Legate, just like from Fallout New Vegas, is no joke, but I was still able to deal with her. After dealing with her, it was time for me to deal with General Talius, who easily fell to my blades. Can I even call it blades if it's made from bones? Like, is that even still count as a blade? I don't know. Anyway, it was time for me to continue my chaos and my carnage, going from town to town, slaughtering as many people as possible. I know I just said I wouldn't show them all, but that was the last one. After that, I went to the College of Windhelm to murder everyone there. And I thought this would be a breeze, since magic isn't really that powerful in Skyrim. Well, apparently it's extremely powerful when other people use it, and they can all gang up on you. So I had to lure everyone from the college, outside of the college, into the town, and take them off one by one like this. Because anytime I tried to fight them in the college, it'll be a certain death sentence. But after luring them out and using my vampire form, I was eventually able to make all of them kneel, proving that I could wipe out the college. So yeah, pat on the back for me, I guess. After that, it was then time for me to go to every orc stronghold and kill my fellow brethren, because there can only be one orc left. Grimgore, say my name. That's a reference to Total War Warhammer. I don't know if you guys played or watched anything like that. Probably not, but yeah, look that up if you want. Anyway, the strongholds were pretty easy to take care of. I only showed 2 because they got kind of competitive. When you have the best armor and best weapons, it's kind of easy. The only person who managed to, even put up somewhat of a fight was the chief. And even then, he couldn't really damage me. He just had good armor and a good shield, so he was able to block every attack. But after blocking, eventually I was able to finally whittle him down and make him take a knee to me, because sadly, he's an existential character. Yeah, I hope the new Elder Scrolls games doesn't have as many existential characters, because it's just really fun to go around killing people. This challenge actually made a smile appear on my face. Even though I got tired sometimes, just watching people die just made me smile. Holy crap, I'm going to be on a list after saying that, aren't I? Yep. I know I am. Now it's time for me to go to the Dragonborn DLC Land of Freedom. And I decided to find out who wins, vampire or werewolf. So I turned into a vampire and decided to fight a herd of werewolves. And apparently, according to the game, vampires win. Now, I am a very high-level vampire. I don't know how strong these werewolves are, so you could say that. But for the sake of the video, we're just going to say this proves vampires are better than werewolves, so you should all become vampires. Hip hip hooray. After murdering the werewolves, I went off to murder the people who were brainwashed building a strange temple. And then I met this woman, who everyone loves, by the way. That's a joke, because I don't think any fan really likes her or talks about her that much. It was time for me to fight the drag, which fell to me pretty easily, since I've been fighting drag almost this entire game. They had surprisingly okay loot, I guess. I did become over-encumbered. I don't even know where I recorded that, to be honest. And then I went over and decided to go into the alternate dimension, the hentai dimension. After entering the hentai dimension, I meet my favorite character in Skyrim, the other dragonborn, Melikarm. I really wish there was another ending where I teamed up or I saved him. There is kind of an alternate ending where you brainwash him, but that doesn't really count in the game file, so I don't really count that. I then murdered some dragons, got the shout, and was able to free people's minds. But whenever you free their minds, some weird monster comes out, so you have to fight it. It's a whole thing, you know. Skyrim, it's just crazy. So, yep. And the lurks weren't actually that tough. I did have the best armor and best weapon, and they don't really level up with you like a lot of other enemies, so that's probably why. But their poison attacks were extremely weak, and I was just able to completely ignore them and chop them down with my axe.
After killing the lurks, I then went and let everyone go. Just kidding. I brutally slaughtered them one by one, and watching them die actually gave me some satisfaction. Yeah. I also accidentally pissed off the person who was supposed to help me, so that was fun. If you don't know, in Skyrim, if you make someone mad that's essential, you gotta wait 3 days. Or a day or two. And if they're around you, they automatically teleport around you after you waited, so that's fun. But anyway, it was time for me to kill more lurkers. And honestly, I probably just should skip past this, but this game, this challenge, was just me suffering and me only getting enjoyment through the death of others. So if I was going to have to suffer, you were going to have to suffer too.
So yeah, after that, it was time for me to clear out some more cultists and look for a black book. Luckily, a dark elf was going to help me look through it. But before I could do that, I had to do the stupid water quest, which I hate. This is my least favorite part about the DLC. After skipping through that, because I don't want to put you through that, it was time for me to use the black book and go and find Miralax. So I decided to do this in one run. Usually when you die, you automatically go back to the real world. But if you do all this in one run, you get special dialogue where you can actually, you know, talk about how you met the god. So this is what I was going to do. And yeah, using my vampire form, because the vampire form is extremely good in this dimension, because everything is acid, everything is yellow, there's hentai tentacles, and there's lava. I don't even know what's going on. Seriously, every time I go to this dimension, it feels like I'm on drugs. And I know that might be dumb commentary to make, but this video is 30 minutes long, and I spent 6 days on this game, and my brain is physically melting, so I can't give the best commentary right now. So after that, I met with the god of hentai. He tentacled fucked an old man, and it was time for me to go back into the weird hentai dimension. But this time, I got to ride a dragon, and I got to fight Miralax, who was the dragonborn before me, but he became corrupted when he watched too much hentai. That is the real lore. Don't look it up. I swear to God, that's the real lore. And yeah, he effed me up. I'm not gonna lie. His electricity spells and stuff just destroyed me. Which I feel like enemies, their spells are always better than yours, you know? Like, I use destruction and all that, and even when it's high level, it doesn't do it much damage. But when wizards use it, it just destroys me. So maybe that's because I'm projecting. Maybe I just suck at sorcery. By the way, I love doing magic in Skyrim. That's kind of like my main way to play. I just did a melee build for this one because I kind of did a magic build for the other challenge. So after making Miralax run away, I was able to eventually lure him down and kill him. Or at least I tried to, because this guy hates me, and he would run away and summon a dragon and eat its soul every chance he can get because he's a coward. Eventually, though, through fighting him, I then watched the god of hentai incinerate him from the inside out. I'm not gonna lie, made me kind of excited. After that, I became a vampire and began to slaughter everyone else on this little tiny island. And there's probably some NPCs I missed because I skipped over a lot of them, but honestly, I don't care. I just want this challenge to be done with already. I murdered everyone in Skyrim. I murdered everyone on this tiny island. Just let me finish the challenge. I used my vampire form to murder mass groups of people. Then I finally got alone and murdered the rest of the people I needed to kill. I was thanked for helping everyone out, and then I murdered them right after. Very fun, I know. After all that annoying work, it was finally time for me to end the challenge with one last death. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. Peace out.